106.5 FM and online. It's the After 5 Guest with Wynne Thomas.
Time now for my After 5 Guest, the program. So I'm delighted to be joined by legendary drummer Bev Bevan. Bev, thanks for your company this afternoon.
Yeah, you're welcome. How's things?
Good, yeah. And
in Wales?
Oh, a bit cold, a bit chilly, but otherwise we're all right. Yes, we're fine. Yeah. So the new band is called Quill, and the new album is called Riding Rainbows. So you and Joy Strachan Brain have been busy putting this together, haven't you?
We have. The band, we've been through lockdown. It got us through lockdown, which was great, really. We did, there's a dozen tracks, and they're all new songs, and we've written them, me and Joy and our guitarist, Lee Evans. We wrote the album, and we managed to record it through lockdown.
Oh, brilliant. Was that sort of via the internet or together in a room, or how did you do that?
It was difficult, really, because, I've been making albums since the 60s, The Move and ELO, Sabbath and whatever. But whenever I've recorded before, I've always been in the studio playing drums, with a bass player and with a keyboard player and a guitarist, and a great producer called Alan Caves, so we all have to play our parts individually. Really, I went into the studio, but then most of the other guys in the band had to record their stuff from home and send it in. And on top of that, we've got some great guests on the album.
Yeah, you have.
Andy Fair with the Low, for one, from Cardiff.
Yeah, that's right.
He sent his part in on a song called Black Dog Day from Cardiff. Chris Norman from Smokey, or used to be with Smokey, he did a great track called Love on the Run, and he sent his vocal in from the Ukraine, of all places.
Right, okay, go on.
And John Lodge from Moody Blues, he sent his part in from Florida. So, it was tricky, but it's all come together really, really well.
Yeah, it has. And bits of everything there, isn't it? Rock, folk, and you looked to do different things, didn't you? I mean, you had strings done by Louis Clark Jr., so the ELO style was there as well in some of the tracks, was it?
That's right, yeah. Lou Clark, sadly, my old friend Lou Clark Sr. Died at the very beginning of this year.
Yeah.
And he did all the ELO orchestral arrangements. He's brilliant. But his son, Lou Clark Jr., has really inherited his dad's talent, and he put string parts on 3 of the tracks, and they sound beautiful, really lovely.
Yeah. I say guests on the album as well, as you said, Black Dog Day with Andy Fairlow from Cardiff, who's been in many things like Amen Corner and people like that. Brilliant.
Yeah, he's got a great band called the Lowriders, and I've known Andy since 1968 when my band The Move and his band Amen Corner, we did a big British tour with Jimi Hendrix and Pink Floyd.
Wow.
Way back, and we've been pals since.
And that connection, of course, with John Lodge was a Birmingham connection, was it? Because the Moody Blues were from Birmingham as well, weren't they?
They are indeed. My first ever band was a band called Denny Lane and the Diplomats, and Denny Lane left that band to form
Moody
Blues way back.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, and Chris Norman, great voice. I mean, I think he did a lot of country after Smokey, didn't he? But now he's back doing different things. Is he with you on the album?
Yeah, I've worked with Chris. He's a lovely guy, smashing Yorkshireman, and but he's huge in Eastern Europe. I mean, he headlines festivals. He'll fill stadiums in Eastern Europe. He's still massive, and as you said, what a great voice, really distinctive voice.
Yeah, does he do country in Ukraine, or is it something different back to the old Smokey days?
I think he has to do the Smokey hits, in a part of his show. But actually, he's got a brand new album out as well at the moment, which I think he's doing very well in Eastern Germany and that area.
So are you writing and arranging on the album like you did before? Do you sort of put the drums together, things like that, on the album?
Yeah, we owe a lot to our producer, to Alan Case, for putting it all together. But generally, myself and my partner Joy, we've handled all mainly the lyrics and some tunes, and our guitarist Lee Evans, who's a fabulous musician. He's put most of the melodies together, and so between us three and our producer and the rest of the band, of course, we've come up with an album that I must say I'm really proud of.
Yeah. But I like some of the tracks in it. I do. I played most of the other tracks last night as well, and I really liked them. Yeah, because I was picking out, especially for Andy Fairweather, because I was a big fan of his, because he was obviously a Cardiff boy. So I really liked that track indeed. Yeah,
he's a lovely fella, Andy. We did a video for that song.
All right. Yeah.
For Black Dog Day, and he when he was allowed, when the lockdown ended, he drove from Cardiff up to our studio in Tamworth, and it was a Friday, and he was pouring with rain, and it took him 5 hours to get to us. But, I mean, a cup of tea, and he was good. He was good as gold. A lovely man.
Yeah, really. He was known as a Welsh mod in his time. Do you know that? He was one of the Welsh mods. That's because of the way he dressed, or the latest gear. Yeah.
In fact, he's still got that kind of look about him, and he's kept himself really fit. He plays tennis most days.
Wow.
Keep himself a bit. Yeah.
Now, you work with two greats, Jeff Lynne and Roy Wood. Do you miss those guys at all?
I think I've worked. It's been my privilege. I worked at Geniuses. Really, I've worked with three. I worked Roy Wood, who's just wrote so many wonderful songs, and now you hear him every day now with the "Wish It Could Be Christmas" every day. and I spoke with him only yesterday, and he's doing great. Jeff Lynne, another absolute genius, great writer, and actually Tony Iommi, when I was in Black Sabbath.
Oh yeah.
Certainly, and it's probably my best pal in the music business right now. And what a guitar player! And he created heavy metal music. So I've worked with some great people, I must say.
You have, yeah, yep. And of course, you just got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as well. What an achievement, eh? That was brilliant, wasn't it? You must have loved that.
It was lovely. It was quite humbling, because there's a surprising amount of really good singers and musicians that actually haven't made it, or yes, anyway, into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So that happened about 3 or 4 years ago, and it was a great honour.
Yeah. So you were there with the creation of ELO, but in the end, you had to sort of kind of pick between Jeff or Roy. So when Roy left ELO, did you have the choice to go to Wizard or stay with ELO?
No, I wasn't given any choice as such. We did one. Roy, I really thought that it would work out great with Roy and Jeff in the same band, but it ended up that it didn't. And we did one album, the first album, Electric Light Orchestra, which would be my least favourite ELO album, I must say. Mm-hmm. Although I think 105 Overture was a very good song. But Roy left, nothing to do with me or Jeff. He just decided he wanted to change his music and go back to playing kind of Phil Spector style rock and roll, which he did with and had some great records too. But I stuck with me and Jeff. Then sort of reformed ELO in the early 70s and basically took it to America, and we just toured and built up a real following and started having hit singles and hit albums.
Yeah. And a great stage performance as well with that Flying Saucer. That was incredible stuff, wasn't it, for his time? Yeah,
the Out of the Blue tour was amazing. Yeah, I don't think anyone had ever quite attempted anything like that before. A lot to do with that was Sharon Osbourne, who her dad was Don Arden. She was Sharon Arden at the time. A very inventive girl, and she helped design that Out of the Blue stage show.
Great stuff. So, back to Quill, and you've got some tour dates lined up now. Is it this year and next year? Are you going to be on drums for that?
We've got 4 shows left this year, and they're sort of Christmas shows. we actually recorded a Christmas single to Ghosts of Christmas a couple of years ago, and we've thrown 2 or 3, Christmas classics. But the rest of the show will be songs from the new album, and they're all around the Midland area where we're from, and then we've got more planned for next year, and we're hoping, like we all are, that that the whole situation will improve, and people will start feeling more comfortable about coming out to shows and stuff.
Because it's a big band, isn't it? I mean, was it 6 or 7 you on stage? Is that how it's going to work?
7, yeah. It's very percussion heavy because I play drums and percussion, and so does a guy called Andy Edwards who used to play with Robert Plant. So we've got a big percussion drum setup, and then a girl violinist, Katie, who's been with the band for 25 years, Joy on lead vocals, Lee on guitar, Abby Brandt, who's a fabulous singer and keyboard player, and JJ on bass, JJ Joyce, who's won like so many awards for bass playing. So it's a very strong band, but please.
Well, Bev, thanks so much for spending the time this afternoon. Good luck with Quill and good luck with the album, and thanks so much for spending the time. As I say, thanks for being my After 5 guest today.
Yeah, and thank you. I'd like to wish you and all your listeners a great Christmas and a happy New Year.
Oh, thank you very much, Bev. Thank you. We're going to finish with playing Riding Rainbows. Here we go.
Thank you. Cheers, Win.
Yes.